Hi everybody, it's Jesse from Local Matters. Thanks for joining us. Before we begin, Dylan has something he wants to say.
It was fun putting videos for you. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah.
All right, now today is our last video in this series, and I'm going to do a little review of all the topics that we've talked about so far. And that way, you know, if there's a topic that you want to learn more about and you haven't watched all the videos, you can go back and watch those again, okay? So we started talking about seed starting. That's what we originally started with. We started brassica seeds, so we started like collard greens and mustards and kale. We started those at first. And you start seeds about a month to 6 weeks before you're going to put them out, okay? That's the way that generally goes. So we started those are already in the ground. And then I started another round of seeds for the hot weather season. So I have some cucumber seeds right here I thought I'd show you. So those are about ready to go. I'm gonna put those in the ground here soon. So keep doing seeds, keep starting seeds throughout the season. That's called succession planting. So you have one crop and then you start another one and you keep it going throughout the season. That way you get the most out of your season, okay? All right, we talked about raised beds versus in-ground gardens. I do both. The benefit of raised beds is that you bring in your own soil. You don't have to worry about the soil that was already there. And it's a little bit neater. You know, it's got nice straight lines or however you choose to make it. One of the downfalls of that is that you have to replace the wood after a while, of course. So that makes in-ground beds cheaper. But the in-ground beds typically have more weed problems too, okay? So there are, you know, positive things and negative things about both. All right. Remember to thin your seedlings. If you start seeds, whether it's in trays or if it's in your garden, don't forget to thin those out. I have some beet seeds out in my garden that I recently just thinned out. If you notice, my dog's walking around out here. I tried to keep him out, but he came out anyways. Anyhow, so I just thinned my beet seeds. So you want to think about, you know, what potential that vegetable has to get to. So a beet obviously is going to use up a little bit of space. You want to make sure it has enough space to get it to its full potential. Or like a carrot, or whatever you might be growing, go ahead and thin those out. All right, plant your gardens according to plant families. Practice crop rotation. That's a really good practice to keep in mind. So your plant families are like your nightshades, your brassicas, your cucurbits, your onions, your legumes, etc. So those have the same pest problems, they have the same nutrient needs, and they have the same disease problems. So if you're moving those around to different spaces in your garden, you're going to have a healthier garden, okay? Keep that in mind. Watering needs, so you're going to want to water your garden according to the season or according to weather. So right now, it's May here in Ohio, and it's pretty cool. It's going to get hot here really soon though, so you're going to have to water more. But for now, you're going to be getting rain overnight or rain during the day, so you don't have to worry about it. But once it gets warm, you're going to have to water more often. Plants need an inch of water every week. And the way that I deal with that is I just basically keep the soil moist like a wrung out sponge. So if you need to, you can go in your garden, you can stick your finger down in your garden, or you can dig a little bit and see what the soil's like, okay? You also want to remember to water the soil and not the plant. That's going to keep your plants nice and happy. All right, don't forget to mulch your garden. I mulch my garden with straw, okay? I put straw around my plants to keep the water in the soil and to keep weed suppression down. That's important. You can also use wood mulch. You want to use natural wood mulch. And if you do that, you don't want to let the mulch touch the plant. That's not good for it. And if you're really desperate, you can use weed cloth, cut little holes, plant your plants, and then put something pretty on top of it to make it look nice. Either more soil or straw or something else. All right. Fertilizing is easy and it's really important if you want to get the most produce out of your plant. I use organic fertilizer. I put fertilizer in the ground right when I start the garden, and the instructions are pretty simple on the bag that you get. So you do it like every month. You want to do it when you harvest, things like that. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Pruning is a great way to get the most out of your plants, especially something like tomatoes. You're going to want to prune all the suckers. Okay, so that's, you got your main lead, you got your branch that comes off that, then your sucker's your third branch, right? So you want to take all those off. You want to take all the stems or all the branches off beneath the first flowering branch. Okay, you want to go ahead and prune those off with a nice little pruner. And you know, the point of pruning is to get sunlight in and air through. That way you have a nice, happy, healthy plant. Okay, and your plant's going to be focused on fruit production rather than producing like so many leaves. All right. You're also going to want to just make sure and prune those really good. Don't take off more than 1/3 of the plant, because if you do that, you might stress the plant out. Okay. And you know, as a final reminder, remember to have fun. This is about having fun, getting out in the garden with your family, and getting some really delicious, fresh, whole foods in your house. Okay. And remember to have fun and happy gardening, and I'm sure I will be seeing you soon. Thanks, everybody.